Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to a new video series for TonyBingGaming. Now, with this video series we'll be looking at various free-to-play games that are out there on different platforms, be it Xbox, PlayStation or even PC as well. And of course we're doing that because of the untimely demise of Marvel Heroes Omega. So I know you're all out there itching to find your next RPG loot fix, so hopefully this series of videos will help you out with this. Now, first off, we have a look at Skyforge, one that I've seen a lot of interest in. This was released on PC, it was around about 2 years ago. It's been out on PlayStation for just over 6 months, and it's actually just coming out on Xbox One at the moment. So if you are wanting to jump in and not be behind at all, Xbox One is a platform to go for that also has worldwide servers, whereas on PlayStation it's split into North America and Europe, so just do bear that in mind. So what we'll do anyway is we'll play through the first segment of the game. Now it's a couple of hours of gameplay, but what I've done is I've condensed it and we've got all the important parts, and as we're playing through I'll give my thoughts and my observations as well. But first up, what we'll start off by looking at is the character creator. Now, as we're looking through the various different options in the character creator, I will mention that Skyforge is very unique in the respect that you actually only have one character slot. So it doesn't matter if you want to go a berserker class or if you want to go more of a mage class, you will have one character that will be able to fulfill all those roles. So in one way it does make it easier, and it makes the game very unique because you can be halfway through a level. If you're struggling using a certain class, let's say you're using glass cannon and you keep getting wiped, what you can then do is change over to a tank class. Now that is great. The one downside you do have as a result of this is that you've only got one look for all these different classes, and for me personally, I do know that I would want to have, for example, a berserker style class that would look very different from a mage style class, maybe even a different gender as well. But it is a system that has its positives and its negatives, so we'll give it a shot and we'll see how we do get on with it. Now if you look through the options here, a pretty unique one. We've got buttock size, so let's give him the biggest ass we can. And let's just put it back to normal again because that's a bit strange, to be honest. And it looks like we've got 12 different options for the hairstyles here. The look that I think I'll be going for, I'm wanting to play an archer in time, so I'll go for a mix of Jaime Lannister mixed with Hawkeye. That sounds good. Various different beard options as well. The hipster option we had just a moment ago. We'll go for the stubble, do like that one. And for the hair colour we'll go for blonde. I always like doing an element of role playing here because I have blonde hair myself. There we go, he's looking pretty sharp looking. So as you can see, although it's only one class again, you can have, and there's no special races or anything like that in this, it's just human. There is a lot of different options you can use to make your character look unique. All those accessories actually look pretty awful there, so I'm not going to go with any of them, but we'll check out the tattoos just to show them off, as much as I feel I won't go for this on my character. with that, I think there's a character complete. I'm happy with that, and you do get tokens within the game where you can change the look, so I'm not going to dwell too long on this particular segment here. So we'll set up the last few options. You've got the run, their stance, and also their voice. I'm going for an archer style class, so I'm wanting them to look nice and relaxed, and use run to be a nice light run as well. There we go, that's all looking good. So let's dive in now for the gameplay and see how the actual game looks.
Alright, listen up. We're heading for Iron Ore. Our mission is to clear the town of enemies and evacuate the civilians. Keep your eyes open and be careful. We're not immortal. Questions? Alright then.
And here we go. Let's have a look about here. Looks like we have our first quest up ahead.
This is Iron Ore. We received a distress call. The town is being attacked by birds. The town's residents are in hiding. We need to find and evacuate them.
I want to check out these big guys over here as well. They look pretty awesome. So that actually looks really quite nice, liking the art style of it. Nice draw distance there for the mountains in the background. Here we go, we've got our first taste of combat. Nice and simple, as you would expect with a tutorial area such as this. And here we go, I've got another skill as well, an area of effect skill, this one. It's really quite effective.
Off! Somebody help me! Help me! Huh? Thank you. I thought they'd tear me apart.
The town is clear. Go to that barn the survivor told us about. Tell the people they're safe now.
Really looks pretty great, all these ships in the background. I don't know the lore behind them, but it looks pretty nice anyway. Take out all these guys with the AoE. There we go, fantastic. Okay, that doesn't look too good. Have our first boss battle here by the looks of it. Yeah, most definitely. Okay, so we can lock on as well, that's quite good, makes the combat feel a bit more responsive if we can roll around the enemy. See if he's got any tails, it looks like he does with the axe glowing up there. And there we go, that's our first boss of I imagine many downed.
You can come out.
Come out! It's safe now!
Thank the gods, you got them all!
Thank you. Thank you!
You're our saviors.
We're saved.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We thought it was the end of us.
Hold it back!
Come on! Come on! You won't take me alive!
Okay, so that can't be good.
Gather up the bodies.
And that's us. Game over. See you in the next game.
Arise, immortal. It is not the end. It is just the beginning.
Here we go, time to get some payback here. Just the same set of skills I have here that I had in the previous segment. This is just a extended tutorial really by the looks of it.
It seems we have guests. Kill him.
That was nice. Hopefully a hint of things to come once the characters are upgraded.
Pay for that.
Here we go, another boss fight here. You'll notice next to the health bar you've got ×4, so he's got 4 different health bars, this character. We have a bit more strategy in this fight as well here. With all the ads he's calling in, I'm having to save up the AoE to take them out and do some damage on him at the same time. Got a health orb there as well, they'll drop during the actual battle.
Come in.
And there we go. That wasn't too bad. Let's see what's next.
I can't believe it. What a massacre. How did you survive? You killed so many monsters. Birds thought you were dead. Couldn't they smell you? And you don't have a scratch on you. You must be immortal. You were born under a lucky star. Come on, it's my duty to bring you to Alienar now.
Welcome to Alienar. I take it you had a pleasant trip. I am Harida. I will help you settle into your new life. You are among the chosen. Eli, the great guardian god, managed to shape...
So we have a nice little showcase of the different classes here in the armours. Some of them look pretty great, really.
This power will pass on to Alion's most worthy daughters and sons. For as long...
That'll be a dungeon style environment, I would imagine, with the 4 to 5 different heroes. I do know you get your dungeons, which are 5 in fact, and then you get 10 players when it comes to your larger raids. And that there, I imagine, would be an example of what a raid hopefully would look like.
Perhaps one day you will be the one to take Eli's place. Remember to use your new powers wisely and with kindness. But to do that, you must first learn to control them. I know someone who can help you with that. You should talk to Flavius. He is no ordinary god. His vocation is science, but don't let that discourage you. He is a miracle worker in his own way. He is waiting for you. Now go.
Really quite a nice art style. It does remind me of Star Wars, with all the ships and various lines all flying around. It's a nice mix of sci-fi, and you've also got the older looking environments like the dungeons as well, so a nice bit of variety there. Let's see what this guy's saying.
Oh, rookie! Hello. Liking immortality? Not getting to your head? Oh, my manners. I'm Flavius. I'm trying to advance science here while others are waving their swords. Of course I'm serious. Aside from me, no one's even trying to understand how things work in this world. Oh, right. This is my holographic form. No time to flit about. And there's so many immortals nowadays. Just so much to do. Right, back to business. Well, what are we waiting for? That transport capsule? You're getting in. I'll join you in the training hall. The hall's completely virtual. I've been doing all of our training here, ever since my lab was nearly destroyed. First you'll need to pick a class. I'll show you how. Pick an available class, and you'll learn its basic abilities. How about that for a miracle of science? Of course, you can always change your class at any time. In a tricky situation, you have the Argus system to offer you advice. And of course, I invented it.
So we start off here then, and we've got 3 different classes we can choose from, but what we'll do, there's 15 classes in total. Let's have a look at them all, see how they look. The style of them all is really quite distinctive. Do like the look of the monk there. This one personally reminds me of Dr. Octopus with the big tentacles on the back. And you've got the trusty Berserker. Here's the 3 classes you can choose. You've got your Paladin, your Cryomancer, and then you've got your Lightbringer. Then we have the Gunner over here. Next up it's a Knight. And there we go, my class of choice, so I can relive my glory days on Hawkeye, that archer. So it is only the 3 classes it's shown us that are highlighted in gold that we can unlock straight from the start. And I believe that's a new class, the Revenant's really quite powerful, but it costs more currency than regular classes. So let's look at the 3 ones that we can actually choose straight away.
Inflicts less damage than the Cryomancer, but has a higher survivability.
This would be your healing class essentially. It will do damage as well, of course. And then we have our attack class, and this has got a nice amount of crowd control as well.
So they try to avoid it. Their role in a group is to inflict damage. Even new players will have no difficulty playing this class.
And then finally you have your defense. This will be your tank style class where you'll have taunts and you can take a ton of damage.
They are a simple defense class. They take longer than the Cryomancer to kill an enemy, but die less often.
So I think from the fun perspective, we'll go for the damage class, that way we can get through the enemies quicker here when we're showing off this gameplay. We now get to showcase all the different skills here.
What you see now is a pack. These enemies are weak on their own, but a group of them can be extremely dangerous. Eliminate them using an area of effectability. Enemies that are strong, but few in number, should be killed one by one. Use abilities that inflict significant damage to a single target. Sometimes you can avoid damage. Take a closer look at the enemy. Some tasks take time to execute. You can evade them. Send it out with a bang.
Something must have broken. Don't panic and try to hang on until I fix everything.
And here we go now, things are getting interesting with this. This is a nice little tease then of the skills that you will be able to carry out in time as you progress.
I'll load your divine form. I'm sure you'll like it.
Here we go, we're now taking it to the next level. This is divine form. Nice. With that, looks like we've finished the tutorial section. Let's have a look here at the different classes at the top. You can see they're broke down into the different categories there.
Did you like it? I don't normally hand out the divine form. It's not even in this training course, but that was an emergency. Someday, you'll be able to use it without my assistance. In the real world, and not just a virtual space. Oh, it's nothing. Do your best, and the desired results will follow suit. There are many troubles on Aelion, and the most crucial one is invasions. Go fight. Go save lives. Go make friends and gain more followers, and you will eventually become strong enough to take the next step and become a junior god. I am beginning to sound like Harita. That's it for now. You can return to the Divine Observatory or wherever you need to go. You can stay if you like, but I can't promise any more fun.
There we go, we've got some equipment, and it looks like it's given us equipment for each of the 3 classes we unlock at the start. So we have the main weapon then that's unique to each class, and then it looks like the jewellery below this will also be universal to your actual character even if you switch classes. And here we are now in the main hub, so you can see chat active on the left. Lots of different classes milling about as well. Looks like there's a nice amount of variety in the icons, so lots of different people playing various classes. And then we have our rewards, so it goes up to day 7 in regards to the actual rewards, and imagine it would reset potentially.
Excellent choice. Each combat school is more than just a set of skills. It is a special path, a philosophy. It is time for you to learn about the mission of Aelion's gods. Come closer to the model of the planet. Immortals are needed on Danket Island. This mission will be your first. Find out what happened. Do whatever.
Another town has been devastated.
Which town?
So it looks like we're heading out now for our first main mission. That's the tutorial behind us there. And here we've got the quest map, quite a lot of different zones. So we're starting off with Danket Island.
You can use the map to view your current position. Check the map.
Wow, that was quick. They don't waste time in Aelinar. Let me bring you up to speed. The Verds built a lair here, and not just the Verds. I spotted at least a dozen Carrions too. It looks like they attacked the neighboring towns from here. I wouldn't be surprised if there are also Reapers or Ravagers with their pets. We need to clean up the area. Your main objective is to move deeper into the island and eliminate the Carrion leader. Without a commander, they will scamper back to their burrows. We'll deal with the rest as we go.
There's so many. How do we miss them? We need to reduce their numbers. See those ritual torches? If you extinguish them, it will weaken their morale.
You'll notice there we had a skill that was highlighted with the actual square icon in the middle of the screen. When you're casting various different skills, they can actually trigger other skills. You see L2, which would be my finisher there. It's quite hard to cast it because when you're hitting the enemies at lower levels, you're normally taking them out before you have the opportunity to actually cast the finisher on them. We've got various MMO style quests here just to tick off really as we're working our way through this zone. Here we go, another boss fight here then.
It's their leader. Looks pretty dangerous. Can you deal with it?
So it looks like this particular boss actually has 10 health bars, but they're going down nice and quick here. That was one skill, the AoE one, that took down a whole bar. This really shouldn't take too long. Try and keep our distance from them. Imagine those claws will do a lot of damage. There we go, nice and easy. That's the first stage complete there. Now when we turn in this mission to finish up, you'll notice it's mentioning the premium here, and you get some of this to start off with, or you can actually buy it with real money and it will double the amount of currency you're gaining. So now that we're back in the hub, we can check out your actual skills, and on each of the maps it will have some of the classes you can unlock, and you can see all the different skills that are available. And in order to unlock those skills, you simply play the class, and on the right hand side there is a quest, and that will fill up to 100%. Once it fills up, you gain a skill or you gain a passive. Nice easy mission to turn in there, and it's gave us some cosmetics that we can actually wear.
Autonomous robotic companion, your new assistant. ARC, meet your new owner. Open the interface, see what it can do. Not you.
So this is on PlayStation here, the starter pack that is available. Then we have our companion that we'll look at next here. Quite a lot of different menus. It is easy to get lost in them at first. Here's the companion and the various different modes you can assign on it. To unlock most of the modes, it's grind currency in game, or you can actually buy to bypass it and get it quicker. Let's check out our next mission anyway here. We just follow, as it's known, the yellow brick road. I've seen many players tell me to do that. So let's follow that road. So we have a nice change in scenery here. The last level, of course, the fantasy setting, this one more sci-fi, and what we've actually done is we've switched class as well, which you can do on the fly, as mentioned earlier on within levels. We've moved over to the Templar class.
A very strange failure in the night. The machinery came to life on its own and started churning out combat mechanoids. Those things seized control of the factory, and there's no way for us to stop production. We've got to get to the main computer so that we can turn off the conveyor.
So you'll maybe notice when we're playing this class and we're mashing the square button that the icons actually change, so you can use combos almost, so you can hit square twice and then triangle for a certain skill, or you can mash square so many times for a different skill here. But let's see how all these moves are against this boss. So we're not pumping out as much damage as we did when we were going the cryo, but we're certainly able to take a lot of damage here. Our health bar really isn't moving down at all.
Probability of victory decreased.
He really took quite a beating there, but he's dropped a weapon. Now these have limited ammo. When you use them they actually do a huge amount of damage, so sometimes if you're near a boss you want to run past all the ads, get to the boss, and then you can use the weapon actually on them. Let's just show off here against the regular ads with them, annihilate them.
Initializing attack protocols.
And there we go, we could see Path of the Paladin 100% there, and that unlocked us another skill to use. Various currencies we're picking up as well. They're used to actually level your character, because you don't get XP from defeating enemies. You'll get these currencies that you can then use, but it's time gated how much you can use per day. You can bypass the gate using actual money, which is fair enough because the developers have to make money some way.
Requesting updated instructions. Please refrain from rebooting me until the operation is complete.
I can sense our boss fight coming on here.
Destroy the factory. Then I'll have to leave now. You must remain and make sure everything goes as planned. You can hold your own against a couple of immortals, and that will suffice. Be glad. It is an honorable death.
Specially dangerous enemy detected.
There can be only one victor, and it will be me. That won't help you. Is that all you can do?
So it looks like we're slowly being introduced to different mechanics that may be available in the boss fights. We had the tails in the first fight that they're showing off, then we had the ads coming in that we had to control. Now we've got some external mechanics that we need to deal with before we can actually take on the boss. Now I would imagine in time you have ones that you need to deal with while you're actually taking the boss on as well. We'll go toe to toe with him here, I'm pretty sure we can take it.
Dangerous enemy neutralized.
With the boss down, we'll turn this in now and we'll head back to the main hub. So we mentioned various currencies in the last section. Where you actually use them we'll showcase now. So we get into the campaign, then the capital map. We can see we have the Tower of Knowledge. So we've had the knowledge of enemies here, and this knowledge we then turn in, and that in turn increases our might, which is essentially our level, because as mentioned earlier as well, we don't have XP. It's all about increasing your might, and whenever you go into campaign levels it will show you a might requirement, so you know if you have enough damage and defense to take on that particular level. So we're now on to our final gameplay segment, and this will finish up the first impressions video. So we'll be showing off the third class that you actually get for free. This is a Lightbringer, which is a support class and has some nice healing skills as well, but it can also do a nice amount of damage. We'll work our way through the level showing off all these skills. At the moment you can see I've really not unlocked many at all, having just switched over to the class.
Switching to grief mode. probability of victory decreased.
This creature killed our men. Watch out for the axe.
This guy's certainly a bit tougher than the other ones I've fought so far, but that is largely due to a result of the fact that if you will switch classes on the fly as the combat's going up, you won't have the same level of skills as if you were to concentrate purely on one character. So that is something to bear in mind there. If you want one character with all these skills, or if you want a roster that may have various different skills but they won't have all of the high level ones.
You are coming. Be careful.
So just before we start working our way through the levels, you can see the different abilities here. The reason I'm bringing them up just before the end of the video is something that's quite important. You don't have different trees of skills you can select from, so all characters, when they're maxed out, will have access to exactly the same set of skills. So in that respect, there's not a massive amount of build variety you can throw in there. Something that's slightly confusing as well is the fact that you can't rebind any of the skills. So in some class you may have your AoE on square, for example, and in another class that may be your single target. That is a small niggle, but it's something that I've struggled with a little bit switching between the classes. There we go, we've gained another level there, so access to another skill.
Switching to combat mode.
We barely caught our breath after the first wave when this monster appeared. It tore one of our men apart.
Evasive maneuver failed.
drove us towards the center of the island. I don't remember escaping. I can still see those horrors.
Analyzing system components. Efficiency 100%.
So we're almost at the final boss here in the end of this particular first impressions video for Skyforge. So it's a game that most definitely does have me interested. This footage was recorded a few days ago. Since then I've put another 2 to 3 days of gameplay in it. I'm feeling the grind. It's certainly very grindy. It does feel that if you were to put money in, it would make that feel that it would go a lot faster, but again, it's a free to play game that is going to happen, otherwise how do they incentivise people to put money into the game. I'm still working on unlocking the next class. It does look like the class unlocks do come in really slow, so that is something to bear in mind there. If you're wanting to play a lot of classes, it could cost you a lot of money and a lot of grinding, but if you're looking for a game that has a lot of content in it, and there is a ton of content, you've got lots of these missions we've been running through and showing off with our self-contained instances, you've got your dungeons, you've got your raids, and then you've got larger open area levels as well, and one of them I think took me in the region of about 4 to 5 hours to clear all of it. Once you clear it, you get a ton of currency that you can stockpile, and then over the next few days you can start to put that into your character to level them up. But here we go, nice way to finish up here with this ship coming in for the final boss battle.
Were you going to start without me? You'll be the only one dead today. Although it's too bad you won't stay that way.
Insufficient memory space,
Then
archiving data.
I'll kill you both. And when you resurrect, I'll kill you again. And I'll keep doing it until you crawl away in shame.
You shouldn't have underestimated me. Feel my wrath.
There we go, awesome way to finish up this first impressions video of Skyforge with that skill there. So this was on PlayStation 4 Pro, is out on Xbox as well as mentioned, and it's been out on PC for over 2 years as well there. So if you play on PC, you've got a lot of catching up to do. But I hope this new video series has been useful. If there's any other games you would like to see me cover, please do let me in the comments below. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.